Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our monthly workshop or awareness talk. Okay, so before I start, let me introduce a bit about Mind Story. Okay, so at Mind Story, we are a special needs training center for children with special needs or different types of disabilities. Okay, we provide services to those who have children that have academic delays, sensory delays, developmental delays, behavioral and emotional difficulties, as well as physical delays. So our team in Mind Story consists of a multiple disciplinary team, meaning that we have different types of therapists. Okay, we have academic support, which is special needs teacher, behavior therapist, clinical psychologist. We have in-house registered counselor to provide counseling for parents. We also have occupational therapists, reading therapists, as well as physiotherapists. Okay, you can contact us at our WhatsApp or phone number, office number. You can email us if you have any inquiries or you have any questions or suggestions for workshop or awareness talk. You can email us at admin@mindstory.com.my. Our operating hours is from Monday to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are open on Saturdays, Sundays, but via prior appointment only. And we are closed during the public holidays. Okay, you can check us out at Facebook at mindstory.mind. You can see our latest workshop. Every month, we have about 2 to 3 workshop awareness talk, okay, from our in-house therapists, as well as we invite speakers from different professionals of different background or NGO to share about what they do in terms of supporting children with special needs. You can check out our website as well, mindstory.com.my. You can check out our Instagram at mindstory.my, and you can check out our LinkedIn as well, Mindstory, Pusat Latihan Kanak-Kanak Berkeperluan Khas. Okay, so today our topic is about ABA at home. We have today I have invited our in-house behavior therapist, Miss Syamira, to talk about building rapport at home. Okay, so our in-house behavior therapists provide therapy for those who have behavioral difficulties. Okay, Miss Shamira, are you there?
Hello, yes. Let me just share my screen.
Okay. So Ms. Shamira is our in-house behavior therapist. She's also uh, BCABA, right?
Going to be
Okay,
about to
going
say
to
for
be.
exam, yes.
Okay. All right. So she's a licensed ABA therapist. Her license are based on with BCBA in
B.
America. Okay. All right. Shall we start?
All right, yes, sure.
Okay.
Uh, yes, can I start now?
Yes. Yes.
All
Sure.
right, so today's topic is, I would say, a very light topic and something that you can do at home, definitely, and it would be a great start for other, I would say it would be a foundation for your relationship and other things at home with your kids. Even in the session, we do this as well because building rapport is the foundation of all of a successful session.
Yep.
Mind you, again, this is not only for parents or educators that deals with special needs kids. This also can be used for neurotypical kids. Just any kids that you meet or any of your kids at home, you can definitely use this, and it's not limited to just 2 to 4 years old child, any age. So,
Okay.
moving on.
So, Miss Shamira, meaning that it's not limited to children with special needs, but also applicable for those who have behavioral difficulties.
Oh, definitely. This is the start. If you are dealing with some behaviors at home, you might need to take a step back and start from the scratch. You need to build rapport with them. I'll be telling you what is actually building rapport, because it sounds simple, but there are intricacies in building rapport. It's like you're trying to build your relationship, but it's your children. It sounds weird, but
Yeah.
trust me, is the best first step you want to take when you want to work with your kids and you want them to be cooperative throughout whatever you plan with them at home or even outside.
Yeah.
So this is the very first step. So yes.
Yeah.
Today I'm going to touch on four subtopics, which is I'm going to talk about what is building rapport. And then secondly, why is it so important to build rapport with your kids? And for us therapists, why is it so important for us to build rapport with our kids in the therapy session? And then I will teach you step by step on how to build rapport with your kids, and then when to build rapport. And at the very end of the presentation, I'll be sharing a bit about instructional control, which it has a lot to do with building rapport.
Yeah. So for those who join us today, if you have any question, feel free to put in the comment box so we can answer as we go. So and then also, if we couldn't answer you during Ms. Shamira's sharing, we will answer after we finish the sharing session. Then we will go through the question one by one. Okay. And also because nowadays a lot of children are doing distance learning or PDPR in BM or in government school. So now we have a request about parents while they're working hybridly, sometimes at home, sometimes office. Same goes as the children. You know, they go to school and now they are back to home or the school provide hybrid learning because of the number of cases are getting higher now. So hence we have this awareness talk or sharing how our therapists help the parents that with Mind Story to do it at home because it's almost the same as we're doing face to face. But now we are sharing about how we can do it at home since most of the time now parents are taking care of the children because of the cases that are very high. Okay.
Yeah, to add to that, why I choose this topic also, because even we have built rapport with your kids during the session, you still have to continue it at home, because to modify or to see a behavior change, it needs a consistent application. Being able to behave in therapy session doesn't mean they will be able to apply the same thing at home, because having that rapport or instructional control is depends on the parent themselves. If the parent does not have this with the children, does not build the trust and harmonious relationship with the children, this might be a problem for them at home. So I guess you would want to stay until the end so we all can benefit from this. So yes. Moving on. Okay, what is building rapport? So if you can see in the slide, it's a technique to help form and maintain connection with a child by combining, or ABA would call it pairing, the learning environment and the parents with already established reinforcer, item that the kid find reinforcing, rewarding. Now, it sounds so technical and confusing, but think it in a way you want to make yourself rewarding for the kids, so that they don't solely depends on an item, then only they work for it. You want them to have an effect, or when they see you at home, they're happy to see you, they're happy to engage with you, they would want to listen to you. So you do want to have that effect. So building rapport is to build that, or to pair yourself with something that they find rewarding over and over again until you gain that effect. So in ABA, a more technical term, you would call it pairing. And even if you want to look it up on the internet, pairing would be a more specific word that you might want to search for. So if you do it correctly and repeatedly, this is the keyword, repeatedly, with your favorite thing, you will condition yourself to be the reinforcer. then I have to explain a bit what is reinforcer. Reinforcer is something that they find rewarding, and sometimes some things that you find rewarding may not be rewarding for the kids. So it has to be what the kid likes. It can be something typical like any kind of toys, or sometimes it can be an activity. It also can be a very brief, gentle touch. It really depends on what the kids find it reinforcing. So you do want to pair yourself with that so you can make yourself reinforcing for the kids. So that's the definition. Okay. Easy example, we all actually have been through this and we all actually have seen this. It's just that we don't know it happens. Think about last time when we were in primary school. There are certain teachers that we like and certain teachers that we not really prefer. That is, I'm pretty sure, because that teacher already successfully built rapport with you. So think about maybe you like art class. You always look forward for that teacher's lesson, not because of the lesson, but because of the teacher. If the art lesson is the same lesson, but you change teacher, it will be a different feeling. I believe we all feel that the same way last time. Even with us in therapy session, it will be the same thing. So each time the kids need to change therapist or teacher, everyone will go through the same process, which is we will build rapport with the kid first. Because no rapport means nothing. Because imagine you're sitting in your office room or in your room and someone just barge in and start telling you what to do. You probably don't want to listen and start or even start questioning that person. And questioning is behavior. But for kids who might not have words yet, behavior might manifest in a way they throw tantrum, they don't want to listen, they cry, they shout. So again, rapport is a very typical process, and sometimes it does not only happen at the very start, it happens again and again and again. All right. Okay, now I'm going to show you example, a good rapport and what effect you want to have. So for example, for each time your kids want to engage with you, what comes out for you, you cannot do this, no, this and that, you just limits everything. Over if this happen again and again and again, then you might have an effect where mom equals to no iPad, no TV. So you are not reinforcing for them. Your presence is not reinforcing. So anything, if you want cooperation from them, it will be hard for you because for them, you are a person who taken away a lot of things from them. So you don't want this to happen. This can happen as well. So we all have to be very careful. What we want to achieve is the next one. This one. So in building rapport, it's very straightforward. We have to speak their language, and speaking their language means play. So for the first time, we just want to play. So when kids want to play sand, we do play sand. If they suddenly want to jump, oh, let's jump together. When this happen again and again and again and again, then you will build that trust. Then you yourself will be reinforcing for the kids. Seeing that means, okay, I get to play. I know I will get to play later, so I'll listen to him. I'll be good, and this is what you want to achieve. All right, so why is it so important for us to have to build rapport? Like if parents is listening to this sharing, why is it important for you to build rapport with your kid? And then you might think like, well, it's my kid. I already have relationship with them. But mind you, like you still have to build this because a mother and child relationship or father and child relationship is limited to that relationship. You provide and care for them, but this one is for you to be reinforcing for them. So why is it so important? Because it determines the effectiveness of teaching afterwards. So you do want to be reinforcing because you would want them to cooperate, you want them to listen to you, you do want to reduce problem behavior as well. Like I give you example beforehand, which if someone just barge in in your room and start telling you what to do, what you should do and what you shouldn't do, and what you do is wrong, it might be very annoying, and you might be angry. So kids, there's no different from us. Just because they're little, that it makes them no different than us. So we do have to think about this as well. So building a good rapport means having a higher chance to a successful sessions, and even for parents at home, it will be higher success of your child listening to you and lesser problem behavior, and that's what you want to achieve. It's not that you want your kid to when you say something they always agree with you, but you do want them to comply when you put necessary demand on them. And the next one is to build your instructional control. And I will touch about instructional control at the very end. But for now, briefly, instructional control means you have the control. You give instruction and your kids listen to you. And it do sound bossy, but when I explain it in detail a bit, then you probably will understand. So it builds instructional control. Like for therapists in the session, after building rapport means when we give some task or a requirement that they need to carry out something, or even during playtime when we want them to give us something to interact during playtime, we need that. So building rapport, it further down the line, it builds your instructional control. And again, you can achieve a strong instructional control by having a good rapport. All right, just like I tell you, just imagine this. We have to put ourselves in our kids' shoes, because this is the importance of many parents would see, like, I tell you something you have to follow because you are the kids. But it doesn't work like that most of the time. We also have to understand that to tell someone to do something, it doesn't only take a verbal instruction, it takes mutual trust, and also you being reinforcing to the other person. So yes. All right. We come to the third part, which is how to build rapport. So this is a step to step, but I wouldn't say that you follow this, you'll be successful, because the key, the key to uh, the key to a successful building rapport is that you do it repeatedly. If you expect the relationship to build after just one session of building rapport with your kid, you might set yourself for some frustration, because it's not that easy, especially if you know levels of your kid. For example, building rapport could be a bit tricky for special need kids who does not have a lot of interest in toys. That would be a bit challenging. Or it would be a bit challenging for kids who have a behavior problem. When you engage with some of their toys, then you will see some behavior from them. So there are some things that would happen even during building rapport part, but that's the start. So how to, it's very easy, like I say, play. Play, and most importantly is to make it fun. You have to make them understand that having you playing with them is the fun part. Because this is possible that when you play, you take too much thing away from them and you start telling them what to do, then the play is not fun for them. And it might be punishing for them. Like, I don't want to engage, because when I see my mom come and play with me, she'll take my doll away. I have to ask for my doll. Yeah, so that can happen. But what you want to do is to make it really fun. And you want to make them feel that, you know what, playtime is better with my mom or my dad's in. So play, like I said beforehand, play could be this building rapport is a bit challenging for kids with special needs who has a limited interest. With that, you have to be really creative in picking up what they enjoy. Sometimes what they find reinforcing is very, for us who find it's very odd. Some kids just like to be stroked or like to be massaged. Then you do that. It's play does not mean you limit yourself to you have to buy expensive toy and then you engage with them. No, that's wrong. You can always play. You can even play with just a pen if your kids find a pen is reinforcing. Or for kids nowadays, I believe iPad or any electronics devices is the most reinforcing. So do that. So how to play well when your kid is using iPad? That's a good question. Many parents find troubles how to interact with their kids when their kids is playing with iPad. Well, then find a game that you can play together. Or if she just like to watch YouTube, then maybe you can pause the video here and there and then engage with her. But then don't do it too much that it becomes annoying for them. You don't want that effect too. So you need to find balance. The key point is to just make it more fun that you're there than your kids playing alone. Or it's a time for you to discover new or explore new toys that you want to explore with your kids. Secondly is when you play, you might want to do some changes in your environment. What does this mean? That, for example, if you play with Lego, you can't just put some Legos in your hand that you know your child will want. And then they will want to ask from you. They will have the incentive to ask from you because they need that. So what we're doing here is that we are informing them that if they want something, you are the person to go to. So this over time will create the relationship and understanding that if I want something, I can just ask her and I will get it. So it's good to have whatever the child wants to play during the playtime to be in your hand or in your reach. It doesn't have to be in your hand. You can just put it in on a very high shelf and they will have to ask from you. So that's one way for you to do it. And no demand phase. Okay, this is the very, very, very first time when you want to build rapport with the kid. Even as therapists, we limits ourselves from putting demands during the first time when we see the kids. We don't want to overwhelm them by carrying ourselves of being a therapist who asks everything each time, asks all questions while they're playing. So there should be little. It's not that it should be total zero demand because it will be a quiet playtime during building rapport. Remember, building rapport is all about they should get what they want without any barrier. Any barrier means they shouldn't have to solve questions. They don't have to go through you and like open up your hand. You know, that's too much for them. You just want to play and make it fun for them because you want to make yourself fun. Like, so the next time they see you, they equate you to it's good, it's a fun thing. So yes, I would explain further what it means by no demand and how you can still communicate with your child when you play without putting demands. So what? Look, this picture, the kid is playing like stacking some disc and a pyramid. And the dad asks, "What is that?" So we might think this is nothing at all. Like asking question is just asking question. But you have to be mindful that you're engaging with little kids. And asking question, you expect them to engage with you. So this is demand. This is a kind of demand. You demand them to answer you. What you can do is you try a lot of commenting. Like this one, look at that yellow pyramid. You're commenting that you are not expected, and nothing is expected from you at all. And they are not forced to reply to you because basically you are just commenting.
So, Miss Shamira, so meaning that when we play with the child, when we engage, it's more of like we go along with them instead
True.
of, yeah, instead like and also when we play with them, we try to lower the expectation of uh expecting them engaging with us. So it's more of like playing along instead of like, okay, what is that? Or you should do this, you should do that. So it's more like the child is free to play what they want and what they like and however they like. So instead of like what you have suggested, so instead of like, oh, what is that? We want them to engage with us. So we can just comment, oh, it's a it's a truck. So that's how we can uh, work play, as in like play together. Okay.
Yes,
Uh,
correct. I like you point out about how they play it because we adult always like to interfere how you should play the thing because sometimes kids see things differently. They manipulate toys in a way we don't think we would able to do that. So let them do it. And this is also a good practice for you to observe what they like. So next time you can do the same thing. Because
ah,
whatever you like doesn't mean the kid will like it, but you have the capability to observe so you can do it again next time so the kid will find it, she
okay.
knows how to communicate with me and she's fine.
Okay. So it's like when a child was playing with a car. So instead of roll like a car, they make it like an aeroplane, like fly around. So we just let them be and in like not correcting them. So once we start correcting them, it's sort of like demanding. It's like adding a demand on it.
Yes,
Ah,
the moment you hold their hand and then you start rolling on the table and you say, "Oh, you should do like this," then be careful. It looks so simple, but it disturbs the whole flow of you wanting to allow them to play how they want it. So
okay.
instead, if they use a car to make it like an aeroplane, it doesn't make sense to us. But why not? Oh, look, a flying car. Just
Ah,
comment like that. It's very simple, and we don't expect them to like agree to us.
mm,
So we just want to still be there. You don't want to be invisible, like they do flying car and they just like whatever.
okay.
Like you don't want that as well.
Okay, so from the child point of view, if there's a demand in play, then they feel like, oh, I no longer find it entertaining because, when I play with this teacher or this person or mommy or daddy, then it feels like it's no longer a play because there's a demand attached on it.
Yes, I think if I put it in an adult perspective, then maybe parents and other people would see it more clearer. Say you like to play your favorite game, adventure game, and then suddenly someone just sit next to you like, hey, you should go to that place first. Oh no, you shouldn't do that. It's more fun to do it this way. You probably be so angry because you find it fun the way you do it, and you would expect that person just sit look, observe how you will do it. So you guys probably can meet middle
Okay.
ground. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
so I think as a therapist, I have one advice for parents that each time we feel like we want to decide something for the kids, try to think them in like they are an adult. Would they appreciate what we do? It's almost the same thing. It's just that they are little human.
Okay. So it's like when adults, when we're doing something, someone come to us, no, 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 you do this first, and then you do second, and then you do this, and then you do that. So now we put it in a child perspective. It's like
Yes.
there's no longer a free play because
No.
there's an expectation, there's a demand. You have to do this
Yes.
first. This is how you should play, and
Yes.
then so it's sort of like interrupt the free play.
Yes.
Okay.
You imagine the adult example that I give you, that is just someone telling you. Now imagine a worse situation. That person
Mm,
just take your mouse and start moving. Oh, you should move towards this one. Let's start moving your mouse
mm,
towards that place that they want to go to. That's more intrusive. And the first time you see that person, if he does that over time, you probably don't want to see him again. So you
Correct.
don't want to have that effect. And
Ah,
even for us therapists, that's the very one thing that we take care about.
mm,
Because if they don't like to see us, we cannot expect them to listen to us for the next session or when we ask them to do work. And
mhm.
even more, that is work. Even playing is not fun with us. Work. So we can expect more behavior and non-compliance. So
Okay.
free play means free play. I mean it. Free play. Don't worry if they do weird thing with toys that you don't expect. Or if they like painting and this type. Well, you do have to prepare. For example, if you want to build rapport and your kid love to paint, you do have to prepare the environment, like I said. You don't if you don't want your house to get messy, play outside. There's no restriction in play. That's the beauty of playing.
Ah,
How I like to see play is the way for you to connect your child. Like for us adult, we connect to talking, but kids they
mm,
don't talk much. So play
mm.
is the language for the start. And the next time you build slowly your communication with them, your demand and other things.
Yeah.
So
So basically, in short, it's like there's no right or wrong in play. Just
yeah,
let it be. They have their own way to interpret the play. Like the car become an aeroplane instead of a car. So we just let it be during the rapport building, so that
yes,
and then also when they play, uh, instead of like asking question, we engage in terms of commenting, and then they'll like, oh, it's a yellow pyramid. Then they'll say, oh yes, this is how they interact with us.
yes.
Okay.
Or if you're playing with animals, you can just, oh, cow goes moo moo.
Mm,
I understand, like for adults, it's not easy for us to just suddenly engage in play with kids.
mm,
Because even for us, play skill is something that we have to learn.
mm,
So it takes some time. I understand for parents, it might be hard because you need to learn how to play as well with your kids. Learning how to play is one thing. Learning how to play with your kids is one thing. Another thing is learning how to engage with your kids during the play. So I understand, but this is a fun process. All you have to bear in mind is a fun process. It's a learning process for the kids and for you as well.
mm.
So just play, have fun.
All right. Thank you.
Another thing would be, I would say, like again, I cannot stress enough how it is easier to engage with kids playing typical toys. Like toy that we think a toy, like a car, a stacking toys, cube, or a music instrument, xylophone, or drums. It will be a bit trickier if your kids have a limited interest in play, so you might want to pick up things that they find reinforcing the most. I had one kid last time who one thing that he only prefers is when I tear paper. So that's that building rapport only happen when I need to pair myself with a tearing pepper is reinforcing, so I need to keep on doing that with him because he finds that reinforcing and that's playtime for him. So it can be as simple as that. Again, you know your child and what they engage with at home, so you might want to observe and really give a close look about what they like and what they don't like. Okay. And then if you really want to give demand over time, you can increase the demand. Once you have done free play, building rapport with them for a few times, then you can slightly add demand over time. Like you can start asking, oh, what is that in your hand? Or where is the doll? You can start asking small little question, but again, still don't expect them to ask you because this is not a teaching session. This is you wanting to build rapport with them. So just increase it over time once you have done it for a few times. And when to do this, when to build rapport, I say all the time. it's not a it's not like a subscription to a skill. Like you already build rapport with them once and then that's it. No, it happens over time. Uh, and again, you will have to observe what they like because sometimes it changes from time to time. So you have to do again and again and again. And it's not I say that you have to do it every day, but it's not a one-time process. So you will have to repeat that uh, sometimes. And like I said, I would like to touch a bit on instructional control, which when you already build rapport, and I mentioned that why building rapport is important because to build your instructional control. So I'd like to touch a bit. So instructional control is you develop a positive working relationship with your students or your kids when you already establish leadership control. The easier thing is to say that you have the control, not the kids have the control. It's very subtle to see who has the control. Even for parents at home, you might think you have control over the kids, but if you really look into it, you probably understand that you don't have strong instructional control over your kids. In a tougher way to say this, you are not the boss at home. So many parents think or would like to think that they actually have control over the kids, but uh, if you actually really look closely and analyze the interaction, the behavior when the parents give instruction to the kids, then you will see if you actually have the instructional control or not. If you don't, again, there's no other way but first build rapport. That's the first. That's why I said take a step back and build rapport first. Then you can go back on gaining your instructional control. I'd like to touch about what ways that you may lose your instructional control at home. So there are many ways you can lose. One of it is arguing and debating with your child over anything. And secondly, this happens a lot, bargaining or compromising with your child. It's okay to compromise, but what is not okay is when they have the final say. So it's them who decide what it is. So if this happen again and again and again, then expect that you will lose your control, and the control is actually in the child's hand. They can decide. It's because you would just compromise. And next one is to give excessive attention to destructive or inappropriate behavior. You will lose control in a way that you give attention to that behavior and nothing. That's all. You just give attention. When they start running around shouting in the house, you just nagging at them, and then that's all. It stops there. And then when there's good behavior, there's also no follow up, no reinforcer. So this is one of the way you will lose your instructional control. And maintaining instructional control is a whole topic of itself. It's a big chunk of it. Why I'm revealing this so you can see how important it is to build rapport so you have instruction control. So you don't want this to happen. You don't want to lose this. And if you start seeing this in your kid right now, or this is happening already, then you might want to take a step back already and start evaluating what is happening at home. Because again, like I said, we behavior therapists, we do this during session. It's a controlled environment session, but being able or have strong instructional control over your child in the center does not mean they will act the same way in at home, because the instructional control now is with the parents. Or maybe if I go to their house, then he would listen to me, not to the parents, because they have yet to build that rapport, and the parents have yet to have that strong instructional control over their kids.
Okay, so basically, instructional control is, building rapport is very important in many ways. One of it is instructional control. So we have to strengthen the relationship or rapport building. So like you said, Ms. Syamira, like we always inform parents or work around with schools. There's a reason why the child not listening to a person, or we can see, I like sometimes at home, this child listen to mommy only, but doesn't
Yes.
really respond to daddy. Okay, we're not talking about giving instruction yet. We are just talking about responding. Okay, like, uh, have you eaten yet? The child just look away, not responding. So this is where um, you suggested that we have to take a
Yes.
step back and then reassess or
Mhm.
reevaluate our rapport. So although we
Yes.
are close in a way, but when it come to like interacting with the child, this is where we have to be very close in terms of rapport. The relationship is not only based on the surface, but also we can see that in instructional control. Like you said, a lot of children with behavior difficulties, normally parent no longer in control of the instruction, so they lose their instructional control. Okay, and then so that's why to those that who join us today, it's this is the purpose. One of the basic uh, important. It looks very simple, like oh, building rapport. Okay, I know how to do, but it actually ties in a lot of component like instructional control. So sometimes parents will be like, why is my child listening to you but not listening to me?
Yes.
Okay, and then why is it it's not listening to me in the center or at home, but it's listening to you because we do have like therapists do house visit. Apparently, when the therapist at home, they're able to follow the therapist. Okay, so yeah, so this is the important part about instructional control because, like what Miss Shamira say, you have the final say, not the child. So it's like to put it in a simple way, it's like when you remote control, when you have a remote control, you're switching the channel on the television or the TV. Instead of the TV switch the channel for you, you switch the channel because you are holding the remote. So basically, the remote control is like instructional control. Okay, so one of the reason you can no longer control the TV, maybe because the battery has weakened. Okay, so these are
Mhm.
the thing that these are the thing that I always talk to parents about. It's a very simple metaphor for parents to get to. It's very simple. Changing the battery is in simple as that, but sometimes we overlook small matters like rapport.
Yes. Uh, we don't blame the parents to think like that because it's their child. They often believe that the rapport surely will be there already. But like any other people in the world, we always need to build that relationship. Even that person is closest to us or blood related, we still have to build rapport with them. So yeah, that's a good analogy to remember about what is instructional control and what happened when you lose it or when the instructional control is weakening. So this is three. I have actually another three. Another one is you find yourself start avoiding giving demands because you want to avoid problem behavior. Mind you, we behavior therapists, our goal is to not always manipulate the environment so that the problem behavior doesn't happen. The main goal is for the child to be able to regulate the emotion and the behavior at the same time. So it's okay for you to still give demand and the problem behavior does not occur. So that's the whole a goal of you want to work on their behavior. So when you start feeling like this, avoiding giving demands to avoid problem behavior, then surely you need to evaluate your instructional control and really think about how you interact with the kids. Uh, Next one is you underestimate your child behavior by rationalizing them. So, for example, I actually have seen this. The kid actually slapped the mom in the public. She's probably 3 or 4, and surely parents always rationalize it by no, it's okay, she's a child. But you do want to establish the instructional control at this point by telling them this is not acceptable, this behavior is not acceptable, you shouldn't do this. If you're rationalizing it, then you let it be. And this will just allow them to do the same thing again in the future because there's no consequences and you don't have control over them. And let's see, the most famous one in our culture is making endless fake threats and empty promises. This is very famous because it's the easiest thing to do. I give you an example. If you jump again, I lock you in the room, but you never do. When you say that, they literally jump in front of you, but you never lock them in the room. Because again, we have to be mindful about what when we threat them. Like this one, lock in the room. I'm pretty sure parents don't want to do that. They just say to threat them. So you have to be mindful about what consequence you already established with them. So so the sentence itself, I lock you in the room, pretty sure parents don't want to do that. They're just saying for the sake want to make the kids scared. But now that your kid already jumped, would you really lock them in the room? If you don't, you lose the instructional control. But I'm pretty sure parents don't want to lock their kids in the room. Or try lah, shout again, I pinch your mouth. If you're saying this in public and the kid really shout again, if you don't do it, then the instructional control, you will lose it. But again, you don't want to pinch your kid's mouth, isn't it? You want to have a better reaction, a better consequence. And again, if you pinch the mouse and her mouth and she still keep on shouting, means the consequence is not punishing for the kids. The fact that the behavior remains, it means that whatever you do is not effective. Probably the effective way is to actually reason with her or talk with her or in advance before go somewhere, tell her what she can do and what she cannot do. So that probably be more effective. And ABA is very wide, and one of the topic that I think people or parents always misunderstand is about punishment and rewards. So I hope maybe in future someone will cover this topic, and I urge all parents to actually really look deep into this because like I say, we say all these things thinking it will punish, it will stop the behavior, but sometimes it just make it worse.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Miss Shamra, can you go to the previous slide?
Previous one.
Okay, so for this one, for those who join us today, we can give a real life example like avoiding giving demands. Okay, so for example, nowadays we can't really get away or totally remove electronic devices because of, nowadays everyone is doing online, and then it's like um, it's like your mobile phone. Okay, it's something that even adults sometimes we just find a way to look into social media to feel relaxed and whatnot. Okay, so if you can see a lot of parents sometimes they come to us saying that during eating time outside we give a device so that they quietly sit down and eat, because if you remove, then they'll start crying, they make a havoc, they make a scene inside a restaurant, and then when they go home it will be the same thing. Okay, so this is sometimes, yes, it's tiring, and it's sometimes we cannot avoid this situation, but we are here to remind parents that okay, we all work as a team. Okay, if you engage in a behavior therapist, we always come up with a plan. How else can we help you? Because if you avoid such demand, and then the setting is very controlled, the kids will learn in a way that it's normal to watch, or it's normal to see a mobile phone while eating. Okay, but then you want to remove it when you're at home or somewhere else. But the kids already, like what initially Miss Shamira bring it up, pairing repeatedly. So you pair the mobile phone and food repeatedly, and then suddenly you want to remove. Definitely there will a behavior, the kid will cause a scene because they already get used to the system whereby okay, when eat there's a phone, when eat there's a phone. So one day there's now no more phone. That's where the behavior will come out. So this is the thing that a lot of parents we are not blaming the parents. We are just giving a real life example how this can cause a behavior difficulty because there's a changes in the routine. Okay, this not only for children with special needs, but also applies to any other child, because as they grow up, they learn very fast. Okay, and then underestimating your child's behavior, like rationalizing it, like, oh, it's just a child. Oh, my child has special needs, so it's okay to whack people, go around and push. So there's a limit to, we know that children like ASD, autism spectrum disorder, or children with ADHD, they can be very active. They can once in a while throwing tantrum. Okay, that's where it's acceptable, because someday we identify that the mood is not they are not in the right mood. Yes, you can throw tantrum, but in a way that it's not harming themselves or others. Okay, so this is where we have to put a limit, a boundary on it. Okay, and then also make endless threats, empty promises. This is something that we try to promote healthy behavior, like the kids are behaving well, but not much of attention are on them. Okay, for example, your kids able to sit nice and eat well. So a lot of parents just overlook as okay, but actually you can promote it, like praising them, give them a hug. Okay, some of them like, okay, later I'll buy you sweets, but the later never come. So it's like empty promises and then endless threats. So this is where Miss Shamira shared that punishment and reward, it's something that not only ABA, okay, those who practice behavior or those who understand behavior theory is a big thing. Okay, it's called condition of pairing. Okay, you want to promote something good, you put a reward on it. You want to remove unhealthy behavior or unwanted behavior. This is where you apply punishment. Okay, so this is when you make threats in the public and the kids not listening, you lose the instruction control. Not only that, means that the threats no longer workable. So it's time to change the strategy, because we apply the same technique, the same way of giving instruction, but expect different outcome. It doesn't work that way. So this is where parents have to understand the system of rewarding and punishment. Okay, you punish when it's needed. Okay, a lot of things, like it's another whole new topic of punishment. You removing, not punishment, not in like corporal punishment. When you hit, hit the kids. Okay, there's a lot of way on how to approach, because in terms of behavior theory, there's positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, there's punishment. So when you mean it, do it, and then make sure that both husband and wife or the whole family doing the same thing. Because sometimes you can see the child learn about bad cop, good cop. Okay, they say, "Mommy don't allow, it's okay. I'll go and ask daddy." Or daddy will, so they know how to go around. This is how kids work, They like in the end they know who are the one that is in charge. So if I go to daddy's when I ask daddy's opinion or daddy's answer can supersede mommy, okay, can override mommy's opinion. So this is where we try to find a balance. If one saying no, we want the whole family to say no, and then this is normally the rapport that we channel for parents. Like when you work with a behavior therapist like Miss Shamira, we want parents to learn from us as well. Okay, and then we can slowly adjust how to apply it at home.
Yes, I like to point out or to emphasize on one of the things that Charlie says. Make sure everyone in the house is doing the same thing, because again, consistency is the key to everything. Doesn't matter if it is behavior therapy, and I'm pretty sure in other therapy as well, OT or ST. The key to success or higher chance to success is for you to be consistent in what you do, and everyone at home is on board about what you're doing. And to combat or to maintain or to create new behavior at home, also it takes a whole house to work on the same thing. And if that behavior needs to be reinforced, then make sure everyone is aware of that. So yes, consistency. Again, same with rapport, you also have to be consistent.
Okay, Ms. Shamira, we have a question.
Yes.
How to encourage 5 years old kids to do homework by themselves? They just can't focus and keep moving around and easily get distracted. Sometimes really lose patience and will shout at the kids. Even with motivation reward, it doesn't work.
Okay, this is interesting, and this is we cannot just see in surface level that oh he don't want to do work and he's easily distracted, because I would say there's a very unfair judgment towards the kids. We do have to look deeper into you have to understand what kind of work, what kind of homework is it that he has to do himself. If it could be sometime the work is too hard, or for kid who has difficulty in reading, they probably show more off task, or parent always say distracted. They always show off task behavior when they do work. And this is completely sometimes can be because of the homework itself. And to combat this, of course, to upskill them in things that they are lacking of. If for reading, need to work on your reading. But uh, if you already take out that factor, means the work is surely the kids know it's super easy work, uh, but the kid is still not engaging, motivation is not enough. Again, this is when you have to assess, is the thing that you promise them at the very end of the activity is really reinforcing. Because if it doesn't motivate the kid to do so, then you have to look to what is being promised, or is it too hard to achieve? Like, are you asking him to sit down for 1 hour, do work, then only he gets something? Then the best way, there are many ways to cope with this. You might want to chunk the work down to a smaller one. Or again, if the work is already simple and you already tell him to do for only 10 minutes, and the item is usually reinforcing for them, you do have to reevaluate again what is happening between your instruction and the kid themselves. So there are many ways to see about this. I cannot give you one straight answer, because there are many factors playing at play in this situation, and we cannot just say the kid is doing this distracted and the reward just doesn't work. There are many factors in the situation.
Yep. And also, even with our guidance, the kids just don't like to do it. Yes. So, yes, for this situation, we can't really pinpoint uh, what exactly the cause, but parents can try out to, like what Miss Shamira suggested, break down the homework bit by bit, because to be honest, uh, not only 5 years old child, we have children who are not special needs. Secondary children just doesn't like homework. Okay, and then yeah, it's homework. It's a demand. Okay, something that they don't want. They enjoy playing. Okay, if you give them play, they will enjoy it. But when it comes to work, yes. So there's a different type of strategies that Ms. Shamira has suggested. Okay, maybe you want to find something that is more interesting for him to get engaged with. And also you might want to break down into small little bit, like 10 minutes, you take 2 minutes break, 10 minutes, you take 2 minutes, and slowly increase the time of working. And then parents, you work closely with the child, you will know how long or how far is the attention, because sometimes after school, the child might get tired. Okay, they no longer get interested. So their lack of attention, the attention reduced, they get tired. So these are the things that you might want to take into account with. And then also some of what I learned from some of the parents is they create a routine. Okay, every day after this hour to work, after that they get to play or do whatever they like. So these are one of the strategy. Find the time that they can focus, they can work with, and then yeah. When we talk about homework, none of the child, as of now, I haven't seen any children that like to do homework. Uh, so yeah, so there's a lot of strategies we have to, and also we have to take into consideration about the child's condition. Okay, break it down, give something more rewarding, and then how long can you? Parents know the child well, how long they can give attention, pay attention, because once they lose attention, definitely they'll get distracted easily with their surroundings. Because like me doing homework here, my sibling is playing behind. Definitely, I'm more interested in playing than doing my work. So maybe you want to change to a room that is quiet. Okay, set a time, set a routine, fix it. Like, okay, can let you know, let the child know that this is the time for work. After that, you are free. So you can create a routine. Okay.
Yes, that's one of the way. Even for kid with autism, they routine will work wonders for them. And again, I would like to touch a bit on when we shout at kids. For example, just to make them do work or tell them that they need to get back to work. We have to be careful in, because if you keep on scream or shout, I understand that we feel frustrated, but if our behavior is to scream at them or shout to so that they do work, over time you might find yourself just shouting even louder, because that just doesn't work. So instead of spending your energy and voice to do so, you might want to take some consideration as use strategy that Charlie already stated, and might try that one first. And yeah, it saves you energy from screaming, and then shouting obviously does not help the situation at that very moment. And I understand, as parents or educator, we do sometimes feel frustrated when this thing happens, because we already have certain set of expectation, like, oh, he has to do homework for 30 minutes and he will do. That's our expectation already. So we want them to meet our expectation, but when they did not, we feel frustrated. And like I said, we always to modify or to expect a kid behave a certain way, we ourselves have to monitor our behavior. So that's the mantra I always have in my head as well when I do sessions and when I engage with any kids. So
Yeah,
just to show, yeah.
correct. Yeah,
Mm.
because we have also seen some of the children that we have here in the center where the child learn about shouting. Okay, they may not do it in front of you, but then when they play with other kids or when they go to school, they were asked to do something, they shout back at the teachers or friends when they play. Okay, so yes, of course, we sometimes we cannot control it because it's frustration. It's frustrating coming back to home and then you guide your child. They've been doing this for the past 5 days. You've been repeating yourself for the past 5 days. Eventually, yes, your behavior will get over yourself before even you knowing it. So this is where like what Ms. Shamira have said, our expectation, we have to monitor as well because uh, sometimes a lot of repetition need to be done and then that's where we have to change strategy, maybe by lowering down our expectations for the child. Even though they've been doing the same question for the past 5 days, you know that they have difficulty catching up. That's where, as an adult, it's easier for us to lower our expectation or change because we change faster than kids. We are able to understand a lot of things. That's where we dial down our expectation and slowly work around with them. Because same goes to during work. My boss asking me to do this for the past 5 days and I cannot achieve it. And then my boss starts shouting, I feel stressed too. But this is where when we see the child where we have to start lowering expectation. Uh, it's not that he cannot do it, then we just leave it be. They can, but they different child have different pace. Okay, we've seen this a lot, especially children who have siblings. Why your sister can do faster? Why your younger brother can do faster or younger sister? Different child, they work differently. They have different pace. So for us, it's hard in a way that uh, we work, we get tired out of it, but definitely if we want to work towards a behavior that it's suitable for the child, we have to monitor our own behavior as well so that they don't learn because child do modeling very fast. They look at the parents, they can apply it anytime. Yeah.
So yeah, so since we talk about how we also have to closely monitor our behavior when we deal with our kids, we're talking about how you use instructional control. Previously, we talked about fake promises, and just as harmful, and we talk about fake threats. And just as harmful as fake threats, empty promises is something you want to be careful of too. Like I think Charlie already mentioned about how when you tell them, when you already see them sit nicely, and then you said, okay, later you will get some sweets. And they already sit nicely, but they still haven't received the sweets. So they won't, their behavior of sitting nicely won't be reinforced, and they'll be high likely they won't be doing that again in the future. And that's for them. And the effect for you as a parent or for me as therapist is that I lose my instructional control. And the kid probably won't trust what I said again next time because, the word that she said, she won't do it. So it's fine. And even if she say she will give something to me, she won't. So yeah. So this is all from me. Okay, thank you for staying until the end of the sharing.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, so if you, to those who still have a question, feel free to put in the comment box. Now we can address the question one by one. Okay, so for today, as shared by Ms. Shamira, our topic today is about building rapport. Building relationship with your children is very important, like Ms. Shamira has shared. With very close relationship or very close rapport building. That's where you can establish very strong instruction control. Okay, we can see it also like a lot in our daily basis as an adult. Okay, when we work with your colleague, okay, you try to get to know each other, work with each other, and if you have questions, you ask, and this is how adult. This is actually without us knowing, we are building rapport with our colleague, okay, to understand the situation. So same goes with when working with children. A lot of times where parents ask us like, why my child can listen to you but not listening to me. So this is where rapport building is very important. It looks subtle. It looks like just like, okay, like what Miss Shamira said, it's my own child. I know how they behave or how they do or how they work. But uh, by getting more close in terms of rapport or relationship, in terms of in a way that when you work something, can work closely, and then you can see the child's expectation eye to eye. It's not something that is like what Ms. Shamira has mentioned. It's not something that it's very simple. It looks simple, but it's not. For example, we have question about the child like just now, where the child they cannot do homework by themselves. This is where some parents will find it like, why? But when they go tuition, they can do it. When they at school, they can do it, but they just cannot do it at home. And this is also mentioned by Ms. Shamira just now. Sometimes the child likes the teachers because the rapport is already been built. Okay, same subject, arts or mathematics, but different teacher, the child show different interest. Okay, teacher A and teacher B. The child might like teacher A. It's very obvious that the rapport has been built closer than teacher B. So when it comes to teacher A, the child show more interest and able to follow more instruction given from teacher A as compared to teacher B. So when we see it at home, some of the parents will say, Miss Shamira, my child uh, listen to me more than his father or her father. Okay, so this is where we can see it's distant, although it's blood related, like, okay, it's my own child, but when it comes, when you do certain thing or both of you engage in a work or in a given task, that's where you can put the rapport on to test. Okay, then you can see. So that's why it's translated into instructional control. When you put a demand, that's where you test on the rapport between you and the child, or between the teacher and the child, or between the therapist and the child. Okay, and then also Ms. Shamira have shared that when building rapport, we include a lot of things that people like, not for them to like you, but to get to know more of the child, like how to like not really impress your child, but to just to understand more what they like, what do they do, and then also make them feel comfortable around us. So when they play, like what Miss Shamra said, when they play, we really let them play, okay? Because we also learning a child how to play. So when we start questioning them, giving them demand when they play, it's actually like, backfiring. It's like defeating the purpose of the child playing. It's like, what's the point of playing with teacher Shamira? Because whenever I play, she asks me to do this, she asks me to do that. I have I have no freedom. So it's like, even though I'm playing, but it's like doing work. Okay, so rapport building is something that uh, we discussed today, and it's something that we want parents or teachers to really understand the things that we couldn't see, the underlying relationship. Okay, because we always, most of the time, even I myself, overlook sometime on the rapport building. You know, uh, before I get to understand the parents, I start asking them or demanding them to do something, or some give me some information, even though we are not that close yet. Okay, so it basically make you close in a way that we can work together as a team. Same goes to because in a whole family, it's all about also rapport building. Okay, you know, so when the rapport is developed and well established, this is where you can provide instructional control. Okay, you can start giving demands, asking them to do things. Okay, when you start demanding, like what Ms. Shamira have shared, there's also reward and punishment. Okay, and this is where we talk about behavior. Okay, so when you increase demand, definitely they will show in terms of behavior, because child don't really interact much. They are not very well versed like an adult. I don't like, or I just show you or cry or start kicking. Okay, so this is where when you're able to build a very good rapport, you're able to like explain to the child what's going on and what's acceptable, what is not acceptable. This is how you do it. We can lay our expectation. Okay, and sometimes when the expectation is too high, the child cannot achieve. It's also something that will cause behavior. Okay, so parents today, I hope you are able to learn something about rapport building. Okay, and it looks simple, but it is very important for parents to learn about this, especially now you are spending more child. If your child is doing hybrid learning, you are able to learn more at home. Okay, by starting, take a step back and start building closer relationship. Okay, this is where you are able to monitor behavior. Okay, today, so if you have any question that we cannot answer right now, feel free to put in the comment. We'll come back and comment on some of your questions, and do check us out on our Facebook. We have upcoming workshop or awareness talk about an NGO and different types of topics like or from our OT. Okay. All right. So we are already at the end of our session. Miss Shamira, anything you want to add on for parents about
Oh,
rapport?
okay. Yeah, I would like just to add a little bit. Uh, for parents to not be shy to get help or support from any centers that provide behavior therapy, or even to join workshops that provide you with this little small strategy, things that we think little, but you combine everything, then the effect is a big effect to understanding your kids' behavior, to help them to provide a better support at home, because sometimes it will be as simple as we don't have we haven't had that strong relationship with them yet. So for parents, don't be shy to join this workshop, or even to contact ABA service provider or behavior therapy service provider. So that's all. And lastly, enjoy when you play with your kids.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Shamra. Thank you for sharing your opinion, and thank you for joining us today and spending your weekend with us. Thank you so much for those who join us. We'll see you on the next workshop. Bye, everyone.
Bye.